Hello everyone. Welcome to Diagnose It. Today we have a quite interesting case with us and let's start it. This is a 50-year-old male who presented with these symptoms of intermittent dysphagia for the solid food. Now with this symptom, what we can say that there is this dysphagia and the differential diagnosis for a 50-year-old male with this presentation of dysphagia are a lot. Like this eosinophilic esophagitis, this reflux esophagitis, some kind of stricture in the esophagus, any extrinsic compression, some kind of malignancy, and this Shadsky's ring. So these are basically the main differential diagnosis for a 50-year-old male who present with this dysphagia. When the patient presents, the first investigations that we order are firstly we take the complete medical history of the patient, like if we like what kind of medication he's taking or any other symptom he's having with the presence of this dysphagia, so that we can get to know about any other etiology, like any rheumatological etiology that is associated with some kind of esophageal webs, and the presence of anemia that is associated with that proximal esophageal webs, Peterson-Kelly-Brown syndrome. And after that, the investigation that we do is this barium swallow. And in the barium swallow, like in this case, we can clearly see this this kind of invagination from the outside. So this is basically showing that in the esophagus there is some kind of structure that is making it narrow. And after that, the next investigation that we go for is this endoscopy. And in the endoscopy, we can clearly see this is a ring. So after these investigations, the diagnosis that we get is basically we can get two diagnoses. One is the presence of these esophageal webs, and other is this Shadsky's ring. These are the main two etiologies, and let's try to differentiate it on the basis of this presentation and these investigations that we have. The first one that we can clearly see here is this anatomical location of the ring. You can see this is a kind of distally present ring, not proximally. And the webs that are in the esophagus are more proximal, and this Shadsky's ring is usually at the that gastroesophageal junction. So it is more distally present. So this is the first differentiating point. And in the webs, these webs are more of eccentric kind of webs. Like you can say, suppose this is the esophageal lumen, then the web may be like this. Like this kind of part that is one side is more than the part that is present on the other side. And in this Shadsky's ring, this is kind of a concentric kind of ring. Like in the center there is this lumen, and the outside part is similar over the all the sides. So this is the another differentiating point. Next one is the presence of symptoms. Like these webs are present proximally. So the symptoms related to these webs are more of a kind of that globus kind of sensation in the throat, or sometimes choking kind of sensation in the throat. But in the Shadsky's ring, the patient usually present with this intermittent dysphagia, and also sometimes chest pain or some kind of discomfort in the lower chest, but not in the proximal region. So these are the some differentiating points by which we can differentiate these esophageal webs and Shadsky's ring. Now let's come to the diagnosis for this case, this Shadsky's ring. And now let's try to discuss it in the particular format that we use for all other cases. This is a case of Shadsky's ring. And now we'll discuss about this in our following headings, like firstly, what is this ring? How it forms? How it presents? How to diagnose it? And in the end, we'll discuss about the treatment part. Firstly, coming to our what? So in the definition of the Shadsky's ring, the main thing is, it is this kind of ring kind of thing. It is present in the distal esophagus and mostly at the gastroesophageal junction. And most of the time it is associated with this GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, and sometimes also hiatal hernia also. And when we go for histopathological examination, then on the upper surface, what we find is this squamous epithelium, and on the lower surface, we find this columnar epithelium. And one more thing, this Shadsky's ring is having mucosa and submucosa only. There is no muscular layer present in this Shadsky's ring. So this is basically kind of a membranous structure. So this is about what is this Shadsky's ring. Now let's come to the next thing, that how this Shadsky's ring form. So there are various theories that try to explain this formation of Shadsky's ring, and what is the best theory is this is basically the response of the body to prevent the esophagus from the reflux that is occurring from the stomach. So what happens is, this is the esophagus, and from here this is the gastroesophageal junction, and from the gastroesophageal junction the reflux is coming. Suppose this LES is incompetent, then the reflux is coming, and that reflux, when irritates the esophagus, then the body responds toward it in the formation of this Shadsky's ring, and it is a quite common structure that is seen in the population. And why the body try to prevent it? Because this reflux, this acid, this irritates the esophagus, and this is quite harmful for the esophagus, because this results in the development of this Barrett's esophagus, and sometimes also result in this cancer in the esophagus, this adenocarcinoma of the esophagus. So basically this is the response of the body toward the irritating substance that are released from the stomach towards the esophagus. This theory is also supported by the facts that this is associated with this GERD, and also associated with this hiatal hernia, that is also a risk factor for development of this GERD. And one more thing, the response of this proton pump inhibitors This is quite good in the management of this Schatzki's ring. So these are the basically the plus points that this theory is for the development of this Schatzki's ring. Now let's come to the presentation part. The patient, as we discussed earlier, the patient usually present with this kind of dysphagia, and this dysphagia is intermittent. And the other presenting symptoms are the presence of pain or some kind of discomfort in the lower chest. And there are these two named syndromes that are associated with the symptoms of this Schatzki's ring. One is this Steakhouse syndrome, and the other one is this backyard barbecue syndrome. So let's try to understand this. So what happens in this steakhouse and backyard barbecue syndrome is basically the patient usually takes a large amount of bolus of food, and the food is basically less chewed. So this food, when taken in large amount, this gets stuck in the lower esophagus, and this leads to this sensation of dysphagia and some kind of discomfort and pain in the esophagus. And when severe, this may even lead to sometimes the perforation of the esophagus also. Now let's come to the next part of the discussion, that how the diagnosis of this Schatzki's ring is made. So in the diagnosis, as we discussed earlier, the first investigation that is done is this barium swallow. And in the barium swallow, what we can see, as you can see quite clearly here, there's some kind of constriction that is present in the lower esophagus. And after the barium swallow, to diagnose the diameter, to basically get the diameter via the barium swallow, what we give is this barium tablet of various different sizes to get to know about the diameter. And after this barium swallow, the next investigation that we go for is this endoscopy. And in the endoscopy, you can clearly make this this is a kind of ring in the endoscopy, that is you can see in front of you. And after this endoscopy, we basically take the biopsy. And biopsy is both diagnostic as well as sometimes therapeutic for this Schatzki's ring. Why diagnostic? Because when we take the biopsy, we get to know about the histological examination. So what we can get is this: the upper surface is this squamous epithelium, and the lower surface is this columnar epithelium, and there is this only mucosa and submucosa present. There is no muscular layer. So these are basically the differentiating point. And in the endoscopy, we can also differentiate it from the esophageal webs, because in the esophageal webs, both the surface are lined by this squamous epithelium. But in this Schatzki's ring, the upper surface is squamous epithelium and the lower surface is columnar epithelium. And one more thing I would like to say here, that in the esophagus there are three rings: one this A ring, B ring, and this C ring. So these are three rings that are described in this esophagus. Suppose this is the esophagus, and this is the gastroesophageal junction. Okay, so the ring that is formed at this gastroesophageal junction, this is called as B ring, and this is basically this most of the time this Schatzki's ring. And the ring that is formed above this is called as A ring, and the ring that is formed below this is called as C ring. And one more thing, the most common cause of this A ring, this is because of the physiological contracture of the esophageal muscles, this concentric muscles in the esophagus. And the common cause of this development of C ring is the pressure by diaphragmatic crura. So these are the main things these are the main rings that are seen at this gastroesophageal junction. So this is the diagnosis part of this Schatzki's ring. Now let's come to the treatment part. So in the treatment part, basically in the medical treatment, the main treatment is this PPI, the proton pump inhibitor. And the other treatment is, as we discussed, this biopsy is also therapeutic sometimes. Suppose we are taking biopsy from these four places here, then this ring get disrupted and the symptoms of the patient get relieved. One more thing that I forgot to mention earlier, that symptoms of the patient are present when the diameter of this ring is less than this 13 millimeter, this diameter. When this is less than 13 millimeter, then the symptoms are present. This is this Schatzki's rule, that when the diameter is less than 13 mm, then the symptoms are present, and when this diameter is more than 25 mm, then the symptoms are, there is no symptom in the patient. So this is this Schatzki's rule. Now we were on the treatment part. So the surgical treatment option, one we have discussed this biopsy. We take biopsy from 4 different places, and the other treatment is this dilation. And for the dilation, what we can use is this bougies, and this 15 mm or this 45 French bougie is mostly used for this dilation of this Schatzki's ring. And the other, this pneumatic dilatation, this pneumatic balloon dilatation is also used. If the Schatzki's ring get recurred or cannot get dilated from these bougies or pneumatic balloon, then the other treatment options that we have are, by the endoscope, we go there and we can inject steroids. We can also excise the ring. We can sometimes do laser ablation. So these are tried options and used when these dilatation is not possible. And with these, the proton pump inhibitors are given to the patient to prevent the recurrence. Because in some cases, even after this dilatation, due to the presence of this GERD, the Schatzki's ring get recurred. So this is all about this case of Schatzki's ring. If you have any question regarding this, then do DM me on my Instagram handle at DiagnoseIt, or you can post it in the comment section below. So this is all. Thank you. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.